Hey, it's Michal, Senior Developer at Atlassian, and welcome to What's New in Forge. Forge is evolving pretty fast. It's been about 6 months after Dev Day 2020 when we had the pleasure to show you a lot of Forge platform features. And yet, half a year later, we had to handpick what changes so we can present you uh, those things in a time box. And who drives those changes? Well, vendors and community. So you drive the changes. And thank you very much for your feedback at Atlassian, developer community, and all other channels. Your ideas, this is what pushes the platform forward. If you are not there, developer Atlassian community is the place on the internet when you can reach us, get help, suggest improvements, give us feedback, and be up to date with all the technical announcements, not only Forge related. What's new in Forge then? We can split our updates to the platform related ones. So those which are available for each product, like custom UI APIs, like storage API, but also application management, publisher experience, and so on and so forth. The second group are product related changes. So new extension points in both Jira and Confluence, and improvements to already existing ones. And it's a good moment to stress that Forge offers two options for building the user interface of your app. Forge UI Kit, which is ready-to-use framework designed for rather simpler use cases, and it contains built-in sets of components, but it is pretty, I would say, fixed. Second option is custom UI, which is designed for the complex use cases and increase developer flexibility. You can define your own user interfaces using the static resources like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and images. And those resources are served from the Forge CDN, so we handle those. And here we'll use both Forge UI, Kit, and custom UI, but worth to mention that not all features are available in both of them. But before we dive into changes, let me introduce you to our today's app, the Design Compliance app. We're going to develop an app which will help us to review all the company changes related to design. So when the user creates or modifies the issue in a specific design project, the selected auditors have to accept or reject, not reject, mark needs work on this ticket. And how it looks like? Well, first thing is what we would like to do is to have some configuration. So to point out which projects we would like to track, it's worth to create the global admin page, which we can do right now. And as you see, it's part of the administration apps. The second thing is that it would be cool to have the project-focused full page with the list of all tickets that we have to verify, like here. And the missing puzzle is to actually accept the changes while being in a context of an issue. To utilize that, we'll use issue panel. And as you see, we can then accept the incoming changes. So first things first point, we need to have the instance-wise configuration to point out that projects that we would like to track. In my example, it was the design project, the DIS or DES project. And we have the full page, the admin full page in Jira for that. I've created it. As you see, it is available in Jira settings, and it looks really like a native app. You can navigate to it from the apps navigation bar on the left side, and it can be written. It's just a new module. Wanted to stress that out. It's new Forge module, and it can be written in both Forge UI Kit and custom UI. It can be customized. So I can set a custom title, I can set a custom icon, and as you saw, it's available under the Jira administration settings applications. To edit, we have to specify the new module, Jira admin page in your Forge app. and you can customize it a bit. You can add a custom icon, you can add a custom title, and you can add a custom layout. You can change the layout. The native one, which is the default one, means that the module title from the manifest will be displayed as it is on the full-size admin page. If you would use there, as I did, the basic layout, it means that you just get the blank page and you should or should not, up to you, display the title there. The rest of the configuration is the same as in all custom UI modules. So you can add the optional resolver, and you should declare a resource which points to directory containing static app. In my case, please mind this directory. It's static/config admin/build. So this is where I store my HTML, which loads this file, my app.js. So it does have to be a static page in any technology of your choice. In my example, I've used React, and underneath I'm just using plain create React app. And since the code isn't specific to the admin page, I can just leave you with this lovely logo. Put here whatever you want. But you can also use Forge UI Kit to do the job. What you have to do, declare the same module Jira admin page in your manifest and point the handler function. In the handler function, you have to use the top level admin page component to render the admin page. Rest of it, well, it's just a Forge UI Kit app. I believe that you know the drill. So far, so good. But users should be able to navigate from our new shiny fancy app to some another Jira or Confluence page. In our case, it will be Jira. So to escape the fork. Like here, users should be able to navigate to the selected project as a native behavior, as you would expect that how it would work. So what brings this feature? Well, it's a part of JavaScript API that enables custom UI to securely integrate with Atlassian products. So custom UI bridge. And this is the package, this is the library that you're using to invoke the fast resolver functions by using, guess what, invoke. It also allows you to directly call product API, so Jira or Confluence API, from your static custom UI pages with request Jira or request Confluence. And what's new here is that it contains router, which gives you ability to navigate user. Like here, by router navigate, which as you see is imported from the Forge Bridge package, and by using their relative paths to instance-based URL, I can navigate user to the other pages of Jira or Confluence in other case. So that's fair, but I can also use another option. So instead of navigate, I can use open to open the page in the new tab. But what about navigating outside of product? And to be honest, it's needed sometimes. We would like to redirect user to some external resource like documentation, external service to configure our application, or just whatever reason you have. I believe that you have the great use cases for this. So how to escape Jira or how to escape Confluence in that case. Here I have a link to Dev Day 2021, and as you see, before proceeding navigation, user has to confirm the security prompt. Then they will be navigated or open in new page the resource. And this prompt will always be shown. We want to ensure that user is aware that they're leaving the product page and they actually know where they are traveling. So that's why we put there a concrete URL address there so they know. And how to use it? Well, you should be already familiar with this one. We're using same router navigate from ForgeBridge, but this time we're putting the absolute URLs, and that's all. And same as we can use navigate, we can also use open, as I did in my example. Well, for now, the router feature is available only in ForgeUI. Please keep that in mind. But there is also a good news that admin pages that you saw are not the only one full page option at all. So in Jira, you can also create a project-wise full page for project-related applications or applications configurations or whatever fits your needs. And as you see here, I have my list of the issues which should be verified by the auditors. And this is Jira project page. Similar to Jira admin page, you can here use also both UI kit and custom UI. It's also customizable navigation links, this time most on the left navigation of Jira company managed project settings. Company managed because for now it works only in company managed projects. You won't be able to use this one in team managed project, which you also might know as next-gen. But let's back to configuration. Now we're using the Jira project page module. We add it to our application manifest. Rest stays the same, looks very similar to what we did in admin page. Static resources stay the same, just app of your choice. The difference here is the context. So an object which includes information about the current extension point that you're in. So in this case, it will be, well, probably something related to project. And one way of retrieving it is in custom UI, it's resolver. And each resolver gets context as part of the request. As you see, in this case, it really contains the extension field, which contains the project related data. We have the product key, we have the type, we have the ID. Well, pretty useful data if you're about to manipulate the project related data. Just to mention, each extension has its own set of data, which is returned in the extension field. So the issue panel will have things related to project and to issue, for example. Yep. And to fill our journey from resolver, we have to invoke it from the custom UI. So we can consume the data which is returned there. As you see, I'm just invoking the resolver that I previously described. There is also super fresh update in custom UI from early May, which is get context method. It is available in ForgeBridge, and you can get context data directly from custom UI. So you don't have to declare the resolver, you don't have to invoke it. You can just page it directly from your static app. But how to handle the project page and its context in ForgeUI Kit? Well, in ForgeUI Kit, same. We have the project page module, just as previously. In ForgeUI Kit handler, this time we have to use the project page top-level component, and voila, I believe that you see a pattern here. And if you would like to get the context here, you can use product context, the hook which already exists in ForgeUI Kit for some time, and you will remain the project related fields there. Nothing really changed here. Well, it's still is in this place. Okay, so I talked about full page extension points in Jira like a lot. But Confluence also have those. First one is space page. I think about it as the equivalent of the project page in Jira because it's specific to the space. The second thing, the second full page extension in Confluence is space settings. So the place when you can add the configuration per space or do whatever per space, render something per space in its settings. Check both of those. I believe that you'll have a great use cases for them. But getting back to our application, you might wonder how my application knows about the fact that the issue was created or that the issue was updated. So yeah, when I create some new issue, it should be already visible in my design compliance page, so the project full page. And here I've added a trigger module, which is not a new thing. It's been here for a while. And I also subscribed here for two events, the issue created and the issue updated. But they also existed. So why am I even mentioning that in this talk? Well, point is that now, depending on product events that my app subscribes for, like in this case, I'm subscribing for Jira created issue and Jira updated issue. Then when one of those events will get fired, my handler will get executed. So then I can do, for example, some operation which stores the data in storage API, which I did in my app, or any other operation. But what's new here is that for those events, I must add the permissions from site administrators to access the data which is delivered by the event payload. So in this example, I need read Jira work to make it work. And documentation specifies which of scopes is required by particular events, but no worries, you don't have to develop with docs on your site. Missing scopes are detected by forge linter, so you'll know that immediately, for example, during the forge deploy, so during the deployment of your application. Please remember one thing, that whenever you change the application scope, it won't take effect until the app is upgraded. So you have to deploy it one more time, and you have to run forge install upgrade, then pick up all up-to-date installations which you like to upgrade. Only then it will take an effect. So please keep that in mind. And speaking about the access control, I would say that visibility and control over external systems that our app communicates with and shares data with, so our customers' data with, seems kind of crucial to security of the app and its users. And the egress control mechanism, which I'm about to mention, is specific to custom UI, since with great power, there comes a great responsibility. What you see here is the example index HTML file, which is a static resource served for custom UI, and it will be rendered in, it might be the project page in whatever extension. Do you see any red flags here? I actually see few of them. We're adding here external resources which are served from outside of the Forge CDN, like style sheets, like images, like some media, for example, video, the MP4 files, and some JavaScript. So we took here the approach of whitelisting all external resources which are reached by the application. Why? Well, our applications are complex. They have a lot of dependencies, and it would be a shame if some of those will sneak in and inject us some odd resource, wouldn't it? So better safe than sorry, I would name it that way. And all those resources has to be whitelisted in manifest file. Under permissions, which you already saw when I showed you how to declare new scopes while adding the events for the trigger module. So under the same property, we have to specify the external field, and then we have to specify each kind of resource separately. And you can either put specific URLs, like in this stylesheet example, or you can use wildcard, which also might be good choice for example, images. Okay, do you want to play a game one more time? What's up with this piece of code? This is one of the React components from our app, which is just served as a static resource. And indeed, it fetches the data from external service. And this is also something we would like to add to our whitelist and add the explicit permission. So as previously, we have to add the entry in manifest YAML under the permissions external field. This time it is fetch client with whitelisted URLs. You can also, as you see, use the wildcard here. So those were our external resources permission. But what are other ways that something can sneak into our code? I challenge you one more time with this HTML. Also, static resource served as custom UI page. What do we have here? We have the inline styles, we have the inline scripts, and we even have the evil eval. And those are also the points which are pretty sensible, let's call it that way. And how to handle those? Well, to allow all of those techniques, we have to specify custom content security policy options. And as previously, we have the permissions field, and we have to specify the content. Then in content, per each type, like scripts and styles, we have to specify the proper policy, like unsafe, inline, unsafe eval. So use this one wisely. But of course, it might happen that you forgot to add those. We all been there. And if it happens, those gaps will be revealed in the application logs. So during the development, if you're using Forge Tunnel, you will see some of those. Some of those will cause runtime error. It happens, but remember, better safe than sorry. All you have to do is to add the missing policies if that's the case. If not, you might spot that that dependency or some code that you're using is actually doing way more than you were expecting. And speaking about security and access, I believe that you agree with this. Not all apps should be always visible. And in our app, project page extension should be visible on the design compliance project, but should be hidden on the others. And similar, our issue panel should not be visible outside the design project. And thanks to the display conditions, we can do it. We can write conditions which describes when extension should be displayed. How to do it? To declare it, you have to, in your manifest file, you have to add the new entry under the module which should be affected, called display conditions. And this is the easiest case you can imagine. I just want to show the extension only if the project key is DES. But I can also use logical operations here, like and, or, not, to combine the operations. And I can even reflect more complex logic here if I would like to, and combine those. So whatever logic is behind your reasoning to hide the application, you can put it here. And the full list of supported properties is way longer. I don't want to scare you with the wall of text, so just go and check those at Forge Docs. I believe that you'll find them helpful. And yeah, important note here, display conditions are only available for Jira modules. And they are display only. What I mean by that this feature, it doesn't mean that you're installing your app only for some set of users or only for the selected projects. Nope, they just won't see it. So treat it more like the hide and show feature than the licensing management feature or something like that. So display conditions, show and hide extension. Let's leave it like this. At the very beginning of my presentation, I've talked about the product versus platform updates. And we took some time to go through the selected product-specific ones. So we saw what's new in Jira, we saw what's new in Confluence, at least a sneak peek. And we saw the platform-related ones, which was related to the custom UI, so the router, the scopes, the egress control, and so on. Now, let's take a look what's changed on the platform part, but on the platform tooling. And we have very important changes in the developer console, which should be mentioned here. So under developer.atlassian.com/console, you have your own command center. I like to think about it like a command center. And you will find there all your Forge applications that you've created and deployed so far. Please mind that Atlassian Connect apps won't be listed here. And you can check here where your app is deployed, on which environment, is it installed somewhere, and what permission it requires to be used. By default, your app is not shared, is not distributed. So it's only installable by the Forge CLI. Well, as you see, as mine. But if you would like to start sharing your app, so install it with your clients and so on, that's our goal, right? You have to fill all the missing controls like company name, like the support contact, save the data, and then generate the installation link to the product that you've picked. But please mind that it will point to the version which you deployed at the moment of generating link. That's a pretty important point right here. And send this generated link to your user so they can install your application on their instance, and yep, voila, it works. There was one thing at the bottom of this distribution page, which is listing on Atlassian Marketplace. Currently, it's in early access preview. If you would like to learn more about it, please take a look and follow the link that you'll find here to check for more details. Getting back to the main tabs of our application in the developer console. To reveal more information about the permission that your app requires, you can check the permissions tab. And as you see, it reflects the scopes that I've added to my manifest, right? I've added there like Jira read work. So here I have the Jira Platform REST API. I had their scope for storage API. Here I also see it. So it's reflected one-to-one. last but not least, you can actually delete your application by developer console. And that's the point where the application journey ends. And this is all about the developer journey that I wanted to talk to you. But what about the users and the administrator's journey? There is one point of contact, of really important contact. So when something is happening with your application, whenever it's good or bad, but especially when it's bad, we are logging the data as developers. And those logs then can contain sensitive information, which can violate security and privacy of our customers. But still, as developers, we need those logs when customer reports you an error, right? So right now, customers have access to those, and you can ask them to download the logs and send it to you. It's their data, so they're in charge. What you have to do is to ask them to navigate in the admin hub to the connected apps. Select your app, press download logs, and if you would like to narrow time from you want to take a look at the logs, download the file and send it to you so you can actually analyze it. And this and a lot more was released in the last 6 months. More to go. Platform is still evolving. Give it a try. Take a look at the new extension points, both in Jira and Confluence that we released. Take a look what changed in the already existing one. Check what's now is possible in custom UI, what's possible in Forge UI Kit, and check which of those suits your needs. Maybe you'll use both of those in your application. Why not? And please keep giving us feedback. If you get stuck, if you just want to reach us out, if you want to ask some questions, visit Atlassian developer community and Forge section, which you will find there. And please mind that every update which we're making in the Forge platform is documented and announced both on Atlassian developer community, and it's published on Forge changelog. So keep an eye on those and grab the fresh Forge releases and announcements. If you would like to dive into code of the application that I've used in this presentation, please visit the atlassian.com Dev Day 2021 new in Forge. And thank you very much and happy forging.